Welcome back. Your current time 12:09 right now. We are right in the middle of the month of January. So those New Year's resolutions, they're in full swing. And a lot of people were thinking, hey, I want to get this business off the ground, or I want to better my business. And I already have. It's something that's at the top of a lot of people's list. So if you're looking for some goals to add to your business checklist, or if you're wondering how to successfully obtain a business, start one of your own, we have Richard Burke. He is the Senior Vice President of JAMS Pathways. He is joining us live right now via Zoom. Richard, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Kara.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the objectives that which should really be on every business owner's checklist for 2025. What have you got for us?
Okay, well, the first thing I want to talk about generally is how to make a good decision. And there's always three questions that you want to ask, and they emerge straight out of, your neck of the woods. I'm a kid from Lowell, Massachusetts, and all this wisdom comes out of the Harvard Negotiation Project. And so the first thing you always want to ask is, what do you want? What are your interests? What are the things you care about? Because if you don't know what you want, it's going to be very hard to get them. The second thing you want to ask is, what are the options? What's possible? What's available? You don't want to get attached to things that will never happen, because then, we are inevitably going to be disappointed. And so we need to be realistic about looking at a realistic menu of what's possible. And the third thing you need to think about is what we call alternatives. What happens if there's no decision, if there's no deal, if there's no agreement? How well does the status quo serve you? And sometimes a mediocre deal can actually look a lot better than the status quo if the status quo isn't that good. So the first thing I would recommend for any small business owner is, when you want to make any kind of change, you ask yourself three basic questions. What do you want? What's possible? And what happens if there's no deal?
Okay, so setting the foundation there for guiding and directing the goals for your business. Another thing that you will inevitably have to deal with as you build your business is collaboration. Nobody builds a business by themselves. You have to talk to people, you have to connect with people, you have to network. Tell us what you would say as far as some best tips for making the most out of collaboration.
Okay, well, so my background, I was a professor for 25 years teaching negotiation and conflict resolution, and now I work for the largest conflict resolution company in the world. And one big tip that I've learned is, when people move from doing something to on their own to doing something in collaboration with people, they often don't stop and learn how to manage people, especially people in conflict. So I would recommend that you look up online courses or maybe live courses and get trained in things like how to negotiate from a place of interest and not positions, how to use the skills of a mediator yourself, how to have difficult conversations. And another thing that I like to think about is something that's become more prevalent. We call different kinds of minds, otherwise known as neurodiversity. There's a lot of different people out there, and you don't want to just be thinking that you're negotiating with yourself every time. The more you learn about all the different ways that our species manifests itself, the more humans you're going to be able to relate to. So, don't think it's common sense. And if you have the opportunity, train your staff in these crucial areas too. The more conflict resolvers you have around the office, the better.
All right, so it sounds like first you lay that good foundation, you get a great idea of where you want to go and how you can get there, and then you make sure that the collaboration that you are creating with your business partners is on tune with what they want, what you need, and what you're hoping to build together. We appreciate you for joining us, and we will make sure we get this full interview and links to where you can contact him on our website, abc6.com. Still